Plaintiff Rachael claims that her famous record label's reputation and bank account took a hit when the defendant delivered a song that she didn't have total ownership of, forcing a worldwide takedown of the track. She's suing for $3,000 for promo work and damages. Defendant Natasha claims it was her sound engineer that clogged up the contract with his last-minute change of tune, and she claims Mercury Retrograde is to blame.
Go ahead.
Well, good morning, Your Honor. May I call you Judge Jerry?
You may.
This is a very important case because it actually is a copyright infringement.
Yes.
My company, Trax Records, is legendary. We're known as the original home of house music. We're called the Motown of our generation. And we have a lot of prominent artists that we have in our roster, as well as people like Kanye West that sample our music. So it's not like a basement operation. And in fact, we're distributed by Sony and we're published by Sony.
How did all this come about, this lawsuit?
Well, first of all, I met Natasha through a mutual friend.
Yes.
And I really got to know her when we did a benefit and performed together.
Yes.
I was really impressed by her talent and her stage presence. And in fact, the audience really loved her.
Yes. You guys were friends or associates of the Club Kids?
Yeah, the Club Kids, yeah.
Tell me about the Club Kids just for a second.
So what happens is that's how we met, through a mutual friend, Michael Alec. And he unfortunately passed away on Christmas. And Michael Alec has a very risque past. He was in prison for 17 years, you know, but we got together and really believed in him.
Oh, there you go.
To try to bring back the creativity in New York City. I mean, we all knew what happened.
What are these Club Kids?
Club Kids were like, it was the 1990s.
Is it like my generation, the Rat Pack?
I think Club Kids were all about being individuals.
And they were in the various club, the nightlife of
Right, it was the
New York.
Limelight, the Tunnel, Club USA. Every night it was packed. And you could fit in and be different at the same time. It was that freedom. And I think that...
But it was risque, very risque.
Like, it was, but also I think that a lot of people found comfort in the fact that whether they were gay or straight or looked a certain way, they could still find
acceptance. It was very highly stylized, you know, Andy Warhol of the 1990s, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And now let's get back to the case.
Now the thing is, my label does not do artist development. We only take on finished product. Okay. Basically, we agreed to a one-record deal to see how things would go.
They want to take on a song that's already like finished and done.
Okay, so she would produce this song and it would be released by your label.
That's right.
And you guys signed a contract to that effect.
That's right. We signed a master recording contract and a publishing contract.
Oh, yeah. You're claiming a breach of contract. It's not about a copyright, whatever. This is a breach of contract because you made a contract with her, you're saying, where she would produce this song under your label.
Right. Unfortunately, she was told later on by the producer that she did not have the rights to use the song.
The engineer.
By the engineer.
So basically, I would have to go about having it produced. So it kind of makes me like the director, producer, even though I'm the talent as well. It's a shame because I also feel we signed a contract and our mutual friend was very important to us. There was nothing I could do. My hands were up in the air, basically. I had this guy, I hired him, and he just disappeared. But unfortunately...
He was the engineer.
The engineer, yeah. The guy, the kid was the engineer. We went in, I wrote the lyrics, the song, and the kid just goes missing, MIA. On top of it, it was COVID, you know what I mean? So it was a lot of excuses for people in the music, in entertainment in general. The way that I feel about it is like, it was Mercury Retrograde. I know it sounds crazy. This is a time period where you should not sign contracts.
Well, you're talking astrology?
Yeah. Like if
so the planets
were not aligned. I mean, I already knew better. I was like, you know, when I walked out of the room, it was 11:11. I said, this is right. I should have been wearing my bandana. I'm very weird like that.
But Judge Jerry, you've got to see that that doesn't really work. It doesn't work for me or my company or the contract. You've got to understand that.
You basically wrote this song, you performed the song, you signed a contract with Rachael that you would then deliver this song to her and her company could release it.
Yes.
Okay, this lawsuit is about what?
All the work that went into it before we had to issue takedowns all around the world.
Why isn't it being released?
It can't be released.
Because
It would
of
be
the engineer,
infringed
yeah.
upon, and I would be sued by the person that says he owns it.
So really, we should be
so
suing
in
the
other
engineer
words-
together.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in other words, you signed a contract with her saying that she could,
Of course,
under
yes.
her
And once
label.
I would be, but then see that's
But
what,
as it turned out, you didn't have the authority by yourself to okay the release of it.
I did technically, and then the kid changed his mind like later on. So it was
You were the sole owner of the song?
no, I wasn't an owner. It was supposed to be. There wasn't supposed to be any sort of like. He wanted to sell the song last minute. He was like, "Oh, if it's gonna be and then I'm like, "Why are you changing it last minute?" So he kind of basically changed his whole contract with me last minute, and I would have to go to court and sue him then too, or something like this.
Okay, so the contract you signed with her, though, says artist, which is you, has secured all necessary rights and releases from all contributors.
Yes.
So the contract says that you had the authority.
It's correct. Yeah, that is where I should have had. Yeah.
Well,
So how much did you lose because of that?
when we got the song, it goes to over 200 sites to be distributed.
Right.
There are attorneys involved. They have to make sure that there are no samples included in the music. There are the video productions, there's the cover, there's the formatting, there's the mastering of the music. And we have a complete breakdown, if you look at D, of all the hours and all the work that went into it. Companies like Peloton put this music, in the bikes, as well as Spotify, Apple Music, all of these platforms.
So you had spent this amount of money.
Here's a total breakdown of all the hours.
When she said she has the right to sign the contract,
Yes.
would due diligence mean that you should actually find out that she really does? 'Cause-
Absolutely. Our lawyers went over the contracts, and as far as we know,
And they were convinced, your lawyers were convinced that she
That
had
she
the
had
sole
the
authority.
rights to do that.
The sole authority.
Yes,
And
and
they
that's-
were wrong. Yeah. I'm
Well-
not blaming you. I'm just trying to figure out how this happened. The plaintiff, Rachael, signed a contract with you that, as it turned out, you didn't have the authority to sign. Based on that, she spent money and was damaged because of that. And when she's suing you for $3,000, which includes the actual costs as well as damage to reputation with Sony, which is legitimate, that is an embarrassing thing. So I find for the plaintiff in the sum of $3,000. Thanks, guys.
thank you, Judge Gary.
I still have no bad blood with Rachel. I feel that this is other people. It's a domino effect. That's the entertainment industry. And then some people just ruin it for others. Like, it looks like I did. But what could I say? I'll just get my sugar daddy rabbi to pay for it. That's all.
I really do believe that even though Natasha's a bit on the crazy side, she's totally creative and she does have a lot of talent. And I'd like to see good things happen for her.
Thanks for watching. Now please approach the bench. The way I look at it, you have two options here. Option A, watch more Judge Jerry. Option B, watch more Jerry Springer. The choice is yours. Now get out of my courtroom. You have more clips to watch. And don't forget to subscribe.